Being able to keep an eye on your property and or your possessions while you're not at home is kind of a big deal, if you're like me and you're just a little bit paranoid. What's up YouTube, Jason here with Bite My Bits, and in today's video I'm going to be checking out the Amcrest UltraHD 2K dual band 3 megapixel Wi-Fi camera. That's right, it's finally come to the point. I have the security camera bug, that little itch in the back of my head like, you know what, you don't really have any eyes on your property while you're away. So I reached out to a couple different companies and I said, hey, you know what, I want to check out, I want to get into the security camera scene, I want to see what's out there, what the quality is, what the features are, etc. And Amcrest was, well, they're the first one to send me something, so here we go. In the first part of this video, I'm going to unbox this, check out what comes with the camera, and then I'll kind of walk through some of the basic setup. Now, just to be clear, I wanted to approach all of this utilizing my server that I have, a server of which that barely gets used by the Plex media server that's currently installed on it, meaning that I have a ton of unused disk space and unused processing power that I just can't wait to put to use. So hopefully once I get everything set up and I can attach this to the server, I can turn that into a multifunctional device, the server. But enough talk, let's check it out. Amcrest Quick Start Guide. Don't need that. CD, don't need that. Boring. There's a USB adapter, USB cable. Looks like here we have a mounting bracket so you could mount it. An Ethernet cable, and finally, without further ado, the camera. Now, the reason why I was interested in this camera specifically is because it can move. To me, that's really interesting. You can put this inside somewhere and it can cover, multiple angles. I think there's motion detection and all kinds of different alarms and things that you can, adjust and customize with this camera. And if I'm right, I believe this is the one that you can actually talk through and hear from. So that's kind of cool. Boom. Now on the bottom here, this has a screw to mount to this. Pretty basic. You can attach this to sheetrock. That way you can place it somewhere, but it should just move like this or move like this. Hopefully that I'm not breaking it by moving it without it being powered on. And I need power. Okay, so before I get too far, I'm just gonna reference the quick start guide. Plug in your camera and follow. Okay. So there's that. Plug in the camera and follow the steps below to get your camera up and running. Please wait 30 seconds after plugging in the camera to allow it to initialize. That would explain that. Download and open the Amcrest View Pro app from the App Store or Play Store. Uno minuto. Okay, this is installing, but I just want to say that I'm approaching this from like a very basic consumer, somebody who maybe doesn't have like a full-blown server like I do already set up. I just want to approach everything just like I have no idea what I'm doing, which is basically where, okay. Wi-Fi camera, check. Where's the QR code? Ah. Give your device a name. Amcrest Spy. Please ensure your mobile device is connected to Wi-Fi and enter your Wi-Fi. Okay. Did not need this at all. Just to make a point, that quick start guide was great to basically tell you to download the app, and the app pretty much does everything for you. Oh, start live view. Would you like to learn how to use the major functions of the app? No, I hate instructions. Hey, there we go. And there it is set up. I don't know if you can see that, but let's see if I can turn that. There we go, look at that. That is a lot more simple than I thought it would be. Have to be a little honest here. I thought it would be more complicated, but that was really easy. Oh. So to move this camera with the app, all you have to do is just like move it around. Look at that. Oh, That's nifty.
Okay, so I'm in another room and I'm speaking through the speaker, speaking into my phone through the camera, and yeah, I don't know what the audio sounds like from your end, but if you wanted to talk to somebody on the other end, this is how you would do it.
All right, now fast forward just a few days, more like almost a week, and I've had the chance to kind of take a look at some of the features that the Amcrest UltraHD camera had to offer. Now in my little unboxing / setup video, I did not really have too much opportunity to go into the full details of this camera as far as specifications go. So let's go ahead and get that stuff out of the way. The Amcrest UltraHD 2K 3 megapixel camera has a resolution of 2304 by 1296, which is just slightly bigger than 1080p. Obviously, it's a PTZ camera, which means it pans, tilts, and zooms. Now, a small caveat with this resolution that it offers is that it only does 2K at 20 frames per second, but if you wanted 30 frames per second, all you have to do is lower it down to 1080p. For storage, you do have a few different options. First and foremost is the cloud service provided by Amcrest. Those have a couple different options, but I believe you get at least 4 hours of free service just for owning the product. Secondly, you can install an micro SD card for local storage. Or if you want to be like me, you can hook up an IP recording setup where you're using an RTS P-Link. Now, something to note here is that it does have an Ethernet port, but it does not offer any kind of PoE, which is power over Ethernet. So now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about what I think about this security camera. Now, of course, I have to say this is the first PTZ security camera I have ever owned. So you can call me a novice and I'd probably accept that. But I will say this is that overall, the camera is super impressive in a few different areas. First and foremost, as you saw in the probably heavily edited intro where I unboxed and set this up with the app that you can download, it is super simple to set up. I mean, it really is just dumbified. Underneath the camera, you have a QR code to scan. So all you have to do is download the app, get that installed, and then just scan the QR code. And then using that app with your cell phone connected to your home Wi-Fi, you type in your information and you're set up. You're ready to go. Before you know it, you're live. You're literally watching your feed on your phone without really little to any effort. You're able to get up and running, configure it, move it around. You can listen to what's going on with the camera. You can talk through the camera. With the built-in microphone and the built-in speaker on the back of the camera, you have a wide range of abilities to be able to communicate with whoever or whatever might be on your property, whether that's people or killer robots. Whatever. Now, of course, you want to make sure that when you get this set up that your password is secure. Some people might even say that you want to deny the Amcrest camera itself from having access to the internet just so nobody can hack that or, whatever. But for the purpose of this video, let's just focus on its abilities rather than the possibilities of being hacked, because literally anything can be hacked with enough effort. So as for the quality, I have to say that it's kind of impressive. It's definitely a good resolution, but you can tell it's a budget camera.
What you see here is the quality in a well-lit room, recording directly to the micro SD card placed in the rear of the Amcrest camera. I have lights in front of me, to the side of me, and a few behind me, but this should give you a pretty good idea of what the optimal quality is for this camera. Switch it up a bit, this is what everything looks at night. Utilizing the built-in infrared LEDs that surround the entire camera sensor. Overall, it is a pretty decent quality, but again, this is a budget security camera. I'll give you an example of me just a little bit farther away. I am standing away from the camera, I want to say 10 to 15 feet. I don't know if you can see this beautiful face, but if you can, well, I'm sorry, because it's not really beautiful. If you can make it out, then maybe it's useful.
So while I don't have any other cameras in my possession right now to directly compare the quality to, I can say that the footage is useful, maybe not, super clear like you would get from a fancy camera or anything, but for a security camera, it's usable. Now, being able to pan, tilt, and zoom this camera gets you infinite possibilities, meaning that you can place this in the middle of your room and look around a full 360 degrees. And if you were to stick it in a room upside down, you can flip that image within the software, and then you could literally just look everywhere in that room and see exactly what's going on no matter where they are. Unless they have like an invisibility thing like the Predator, then you're kind of screwed. As far as my setup goes, I plan on doing a dedicated video to that, because this review is really kind of a launching point for my security camera series. I want to do some reviews and check out a few different cams, and then once I get those set up and I've tested them and I see what their abilities are and where they're going to be best suited in my house, I want to do a setup video and show you exactly how I integrate that into my Unraid server and, install the software and hook up the cameras and that sort of stuff. But I am waiting to get a couple more cameras before I go through that full setup process. So wait for that. I plan on putting this camera possibly in my garage, but I haven't really landed on a dedicated place just yet. So setting up, super simple. Image quality, it's pretty good, but again, it is a budget camera. Connectivity, awesome. I mean, you get 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz. That's pretty good. It doesn't have any power over Ethernet, but oh well. Overall, I think for the price of this camera, it's a pretty good buy. This could be great in something like your nursery, keeping an eye on your children, that sort of thing. Stay tuned for my final video of this series. I am planning about 4 different videos, 3 of which will be different cameras, and 1 of which will be a final setup video integrating this into my server. And this is gonna be the same server that I host my Plex media server. So I can't wait to show that video with multiple cameras running at the same time and be able to display exactly what you can do with the hardware that you already have. If you want to find out more about this camera, check out the links in the description below for an updated pricing and full detailed specifications. As always, if you want to hear more, make sure to subscribe and like this video if you liked it. Thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and have a good night.